Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Amirul Luqman bin Rasdan. I am from group number 4 and we are going to do a video presentation based on the title Peak Performance and Peaking for Competition. Okay. Our group consists of 4 people, which is Muhammad Amirul Luqman bin Rasdan. And then the second one is Afika binti Zuaimi. And the third one is Muhammad Aziz bin Jamil. And the last one is Nur Hayani binti Nur Azhar. Okay. We are from class RSR 2435A. And our beloved lecturer, which is Madam Jamilah. Okay. I will start my group presentation with the first introduction. Okay. The introduction. What is peak performance in sport? Okay, peak performance is a mindset that guide an athlete choices, decision and action every day. Peak performers are not necessarily more talented than other athletes. They are just more committed to be their best every single day. Any athlete can reach their peak performance. Okay. It consists of 2 parts, which is about the peaking and also tapering. Okay. Okay, peaking. What is peaking in a training program? Peaking is when the athlete is performing at their absolute best during competition. Peaking requires the athlete to have great general body conditioning, good sport-specific conditioning, as well as great skill execution combined with strategy and tactics that enable them to perform at their best. Okay, goal of the training plan is to optimize performance in specific competition throughout the training year. And then the foundation established during preparatory and competition phase. Peaking is affected by training volume, frequency and intensity. Okay, next we are going to taper. Okay, what is taper in a training program? Tapering is used in endurance sport circle to describe the last part of your training where you start to reduce the amount of running, cycling, swimming, or all 3 for triathlon and Ironman triathlon that you do in the final weeks before your event. Okay. When attempting to pick an athlete for competition, the coach reduce the workload prior to the competition taper. Okay, definition: a reduction in training workload prior to competition. Okay, the goal is to optimize athlete performance at specific time and then systematically reduce training load, reduce cumulative fatigue. Okay. Okay, this is a graph show the generalized periodization, a model for strength and power training with a taper. Okay. As you can see, this is a taper. Okay, and then we go to the next slide. Okay, premise of tapering. Okay, it is a relationship between fitness and fatigue. Preparedness is optimized by training plan that maximize fitness response, minimize the development of fatigue. Premise to dissipate accumulate fatigue while retaining fitness based on concept. Level of acquired fitness is relatively stable over time and slow changing component. Okay, fatigue is highly variable and affected by physiological and psychological stressor or fast changing component. And then tapering time span need to be carefully choose to avoid loss of fitness gain. In other words, detraining. Okay. Okay, this is the graph shown about the relationship among fatigue, fitness preparedness, and taper length during the taper fatigue decrease rapidly. Okay, while fitness is maintained for a little longer, depending on the composition of the taper. However, if the taper extends for too long, fitness will dissipate until the training occurs. Okay, this is a suboptimal taper length, taper duration too long. Okay, this is optimal taper length. Okay, duration of taper days or week. And this is training volume. Okay, it is shown that the taper is the duration for the taper is too long. than the normal period. Okay. Okay. The next graph show the relationship between preparedness and a taper. Okay. As you can see, this is a line of the taper. Okay, this is the optimal taper length of period that's suitable for peak performance of an athlete. Okay. Okay, that's all from me. Based on our group presentation, which is about the peak performance and peak for the competition, and our group presentation will be continued by my group mates. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Benjamin and I'm from SR243. Now I will talk about factors affecting a taper. There are many strategies for including a taper in an annual training plan. The key component of each of the strategy is to alter the training plan to reduce training load. Example, training volume, training intensity, and training frequency. First, I will tell about training intensity. During the taper, is closely related to the ability to maintain training during period of reduced training load. It has also been suggested that the training intensity is a key factor in maintaining training during the taper. Next, we go to training volume. The volume of training can be decreased during a taper by reducing the duration of each training session, reducing training frequency, or both. Third, training frequency. Several studies report that reduction of the magnitude of 50% of pre-taper training frequencies can increase performance. Next, we go to the duration of taper. The amount of volume reduction or the pattern of reduction during the taper after the duration needed to elevate preparedness. Now we go to the type of tapers. Tapers have two types, which is progressive, systemic progressive reduction in training load, and second is non-progressive, standardized reduction in training load. Now we go to progressive taper. Progressive taper can be classified into three types, which is a linear taper, a slow exponential taper, and a fast exponential taper. A slow exponential taper tends to have a slower reduction in training load and higher training load is those seen in a fast exponential taper. For the linear taper, normally contain a higher mean training load than those seen in either a slow or fast exponential taper. For the fast exponential taper, appear to result in greater performance gains than linear or slow exponential taper. Next, non-progressive taper. Non-progressive taper, also called a step taper, is accomplished with standardized reduction in training. This taper is often marked by sudden decrease in training load. Okay, now we continue with the graph. As we can see, the three dotted line is represent to the progressive taper, and the straight line represent to non-progressive taper or step taper. We can see the progressive taper start with day one, start with 100% of percentage of normal training volume, and will go down until to day 40. It's for the non-progressive taper or step taper, it stay during day 1 until the day 40 at 30%. So that's all from me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Narhayani binti Nur Azhar. I am from class RSR 2435A. Now, I will continue our group presentation with my slide, which is the competition phase of the annual plan. Okay, the competition phase in team sports refer to the in-season period where games are played on a regular basis, while in combat sports, this refers to the weeks leading up to the event, and in the last 2 weeks will involve some type of pre-event taper. Okay, so the competition phase of the annual plan must have the combination of multiple competitions that the athlete involved. The competition phase is also the primary goal of the training plan. It shows the athlete preparedness for the competition. The construction of an annual plan begins with an analysis of the athlete's current psychological status, their technical and tactical. Okay. Next, we go to the next slide. Planning for the competition. The most important step in developing the annual training plan is to establish the competitive schedule for the athlete or team and to determine which competitions require peak form. The competition schedule is established by the sports governing body and culminates with the national or world championship. When determining the competitive schedule, the coach needs to select specific competitions that can be considered preparatory or exhibition contests and are scheduled to target specific training objectives. These contests are used as hard training days that target specific skill sets, so they can serve as important tools for preparing the athlete for major competitions. Because these contests are used as training days, specific tapering strategies usually are not used. Next, the next slide, as you can see in the figure 7.5, it shows the training phase and the competitive phase. The competitive calendar showing the emphasis on preparedness and peaking. Okay. As you can see, in the month of May, June and July, there is a competition which is a minor emphasis. Next, in the middle of July, there is a qualifying competition which is major emphasis, and for the month of August there is one national championship, and lastly in the September there is a world championship. Both are the major emphasis. Okay, now look at this error. Okay, now look at this arrow. It shows there are three of peaking, which is on July, August, and September. This is because in these 3 months, there are major emphasis, which is qualifying competition, national championship, and world championship, which is important to the athlete. Okay. Now we go to the next slide. The methods for planning. In grouping approach, it must have a planning 2 to 3 weeks in row, during which athletes takes part in tournament or competitions per weekend. Next, for the cyclic approach, the competitions are spaced at regular and repeating intervals. Now we go to the next slide. The figure 6.6 shows the competitive schedule based on the grouping approach. Okay, as you can see, in the month of May and July, there are competition which is minor emphasis, and for the August there are qualifying competition, and for September there are championship which is major emphasis. Okay, we continue with figure 7.7. The competition schedule for a team sport based on a cyclic approach. Okay, in the month of August, September, October, and half of November, there are competition which is minor emphasis, and for uh, and for uh, and for the start of December, there are qualifying competition which is major emphasis, and the last month of December there are championship which is major emphasis. Okay, that's all from me. Now we continue with the next presenter. Thank you.
Okay, next, we move to my part, which is the competition frequency. So we have time interval between competition. We must undertake competition only when the athlete is capable of achieving set objective for each training. To make sure the athlete is ready to perform in the competition and can do the best in their performance. So before competition, a factor that must be concerned is in athlete physical, technical, tactical, and psychological. So first, we must carefully select and schedule competition so that they progressively increase in the difficulty. After that, select challenging competitions for motivation purpose. Challenge the athlete by placing her against superior opponents. And also, we must avoid the athlete to entering too many competitions, so that the athlete can avoid from any injuries or too tired until can break their performance. And after that, sequence the competitive schedule in a progressive fashion, allowing preparedness to maximize. After that, allocate adequate time between competitions to allow athlete time to train and correct any technical flaws. And lastly, instruct the athlete to perform at her highest level only in the main competitions. It is to make sure the athlete can save their energy, not to all out, and the athlete can take the experience from the previous competitions to perform at the highest level, and they can use all the skill and knowledge from the previous competition and apply in the main competitions. And this is the objective for the competitive sub-phase. So first, for pre-competitions, the objective is improve the performance, gain the experience, determine strength and weakness, and lastly, take technique and tactic. After that, for in the specialized preparation for league competition phase, first, correct deficiencies revealed during pre-competition sub-phase. After that, alter technique and methods to improve competitive abilities. For the league or official competition phase, first, elevate preparedness and prepare for qualifying competitions. And lastly, in the special preparation phase, first we must maximize the preparedness, and the athlete must compete at the highest level in the major competitions. So that's all from us. Thank you.